Hello everyone, welcome to Project Veritas headquarters in the infamous Wall of Shame, where the journalists' reputations go to die, where journalists have to print retractions and corrections and articles questioning our ethics and our journalism. That's why it's so ironic. That's why it's so crazy. That's why we call it the Wall of Shame. This is a first in Retracto history. This retraction goes again to William Turton of Bloomberg News. This guy, William Turton, has now printed two corrections, two retractions. This second retraction coming on the heels of the first on the paper, which is still warm. We didn't have a chance to hang this thing on our wall yet. Will Turton, the second retraction in the span of a few weeks. Cue the Retracto theme song. Now, you all recall William Turton. He is the Bloomberg young reporter who overheard me on a train and recorded me not wearing a mask while I was drinking a cup of coffee. He had to update his article about the fact that I was not wearing the mask because I was drinking coffee, and he had to print a retraction there. Now, in this case, William Turton has printed another retraction. In the original article, William Turton writes, quote, James O'Keefe sent a tweet to his more than 1 million followers implying that the left-wing group Antifa was actually behind the intrusion at the Capitol building the day before. Wrong. That didn't happen. That was a mischaracterization of my original tweet, which read, quote, well, if the New York Times is saying there's no evidence, it must be settled then, right? Who knows? In response to a New York Times report, I had quote tweeted the New York Times that said, there is no evidence that the Antifa movement stormed the Capitol. So I was asking questions. Now, what's interesting about that is William Turton mischaracterizing my quote in the Bloomberg article that was then used by Raw Story right afterwards, and they had to retract that entire paragraph. So now Will Turton had to print a big, fat, juicy correction. And then in that corrected article, it says, quote, James O'Keefe sent a tweet to his more than 1 million followers questioning a New York Times report that there is no evidence Antifa activists stormed the Capitol. That's more like it, William Turton. See, that's what I call quality journalism. Now, let's put these two side by side so you see how they do the butchering and the selective editing they accused us of doing. The original says James O'Keefe sent a tweet to his more than 1 million followers implying that the left-wing group Antifa was actually behind the intrusion at the Capitol. Change 2 in the corrected version, James O'Keefe sent a tweet to his more than 1 million followers questioning a New York Times report that there is no evidence Antifa activists stormed the Capitol. You recall William Turton is the guy who confronted me in Penn Station about the coffee that I was drinking. My mask wasn't on my face because I was drinking a cup of coffee. It's quite impossible to drink coffee while one is wearing a mask, and we had our colleague demonstrate that. So Turton approached me at New York Penn Station getting off the train and was very scared to walk up to me, but he did walk up to me. And I recorded him asking me for comment on something I didn't even know what I was commenting on, but you could hear him talking.
I'm asking you to comment on the comments that you made on the
Mr. O'Keefe, can I get your comment for a story I'm doing this afternoon, Mr. O'Keefe? Please, can I get your comment? Here's my statement to you. Please send me the quotes that you have of me so I can properly comment on them.
I'm going to have to chat with my
editors. You have to check with your editors? I think it would be unethical for me to give you a comment without knowing exactly what was said. I couldn't give him a comment because I didn't know what I was commenting on. So what prompted this correction? Was it the virtue of Bloomberg? Did they do it on their own? Did their incredible investigative reporters who care about democracy dying in darkness and all that jazz, did they do the right thing? No. It wasn't because of what they did. It was because of our indefatigable and intrepid legal team sent them an email to Andrew Martin, who wrote, quote, this is a completely inaccurate characterization of Mr. O'Keefe's original tweet. If you read his tweet, see attachment, he is simply commenting on the biased reporting of the New York Times. He never made any assertion or suggestion that Antifa was behind the Capitol intrusion. Now, Andrew Martin is the editor, or one of the editors at Bloomberg News, didn't even have the courtesy to write us a written response, but he did respond to our email with a link to the retraction. He's especially probably not happy with William Turton because little Bill Turton is like, it's like chaos theory. It's like a butterfly flaps its wings and creates a tsunami on the other side of the planet. I mean, all the things are now happening. I mean, we have Raw Story retracting wholesale paragraphs. Our general counsel informs me we may have a lawsuit against Raw Story, and we caught up with this Sarah K. Burris individual who was forced to retract the entire paragraph. My colleague is getting coffee spilled all over himself, demonstrating the absurdity of the inability to drink coffee while wearing a mask, and now I have to wash our floor at headquarters. Bill Turton is going to need his own wall of shame. It's going to have to be the wall of William Turton, the William Turton Hall of Shame, the William Turton Hall of Fame. We're going to need a bigger wall just for Bill Turton.
You're going to need a bigger boat.
This goes back to the concept of projection. It's what the psychologist, it wasn't just any psychologist, it was famous psychologist Carl Jung, who once wrote about the concept of projection. He talked about the shadow. You see, the shadow is a moral problem, Carl Jung wrote, that challenges the whole ego personality, for no one can become conscious of the shadow without considerable moral effort. To become conscious of it involves recognizing the dark aspects of the personality as present and real. William Turton, I encourage you study this concept of projection. I recommend a book called The Power of Letting Go. The author's named John Perkis, who writes, William Turton, it's time to look at your shadow. The shadow is a term coined by Jung. Another word for it is the dark side. It contains anything you failed to accept about yourself, which you then project unconsciously onto me and Project Veritas, onto other people. In the meantime, you keep having the same problems with other people. Over and over again. Over and over again. You print the retractions, you have the same problems because you continue to project. Our shadow includes judgments about ourselves, which we've projected onto other people. And once we discover them, we can embrace them and let go of them. William Turton, you have to let go. You have to stop projecting onto other people, onto citizen journalists, onto people like Project Veritas, who you are. You'll discover you are what you hate, but you're still young. What are you, 22, 23? You can join us instead of fighting us. We're supposed to be on the same side. We're supposed to be fighting for the truth. We're supposed to be truth to power and all that stuff. Instead, now you've had to print all these retractions. And they'll be on the wall of shame forever. And all of this could be avoided. The girl getting confronted in the parking lot, her not being able to start her car because she's being confronted by Project Veritas in the parking lot.
Sarah, has journalism sunk that low with desperation?
You getting the Retracto plushie, me impersonating you.
I'm asking a comment. I saw you on the train. I overheard you. My deadline's 4 p.m. What is your comment?
Coffee spilled all over our floor. I have to clean it up. Me having to film this video. I'm late for a flight. All of this could be avoided if you just stuck to the facts. See, you did a good job in this. I actually have to compliment you. I actually think this corrected version, quote, questioning a New York Times report that there is no evidence. That's exactly what I did. Bravo. Did Andrew Martin write that? Or did you? Whoever did, I actually compliment. That's a pretty good job. All of this could be avoided if you just did this the first time around. Instead, you get this, and you get this, which we will sell on our website. We got to make more of them. And the other thing we're doing now is we're hiring more lawyers to initiate more lawsuits against organizations like yours. You can apply to work as a lawyer for Project Veritas by sending us your resume and cover letter at legal@projectveritas.com. So at least, William Turton, you've changed a few lives, you've empowered a few people to come here to sue the shit out of organizations who lie about innocent people, about good journalists who are trying to tell the truth. Drop the mic. All right, let's go. Hi, Bill Turton.
Hey, James, how are you? Who funds Project Veritas?
Who funds Bloomberg? Sounds like someone that needs to be investigated. You're like a robot. You're filming the microphone. What are you doing? Okay, what is your plan now? Are you just going to keep walking? What if I stop? Let's zoom in on that. Here he goes. He's walking away into the darkness.